Let's jump straight into this explainer. Today we're dissecting the incredibly intricate mechanics, the hidden lore, and the exact rules of engagement behind a truly terrifying fairy tale. We're looking at exactly how a seemingly ordinary pauper named Gwen managed to unravel a kingdom-ending spell and actually survive the notoriously dreaded Screaming Forest. If you love breaking down how magical traps are engineered and how they can be dismantled, you are absolutely in the right place.
The story immediately hits us with this chilling quote from Gwen's adoptive father. Its name is the Screaming Forest for a reason. Bandits live here, and it is said that no foolish human is allowed inside. Now, just as a quick refresher on Gwen, she was actually found abandoned on some steps as a baby and raised by this poor merchant. So, they're traveling together to help out at a faraway wedding, and suddenly, they find themselves right at the edge of this incredibly dangerous territory. And, well, the father's warning was absolutely spot on. What dark secret is really hiding inside? Under the cover of night, bandits ambush their carriage. They steal a cloak worth literally a lifetime's earnings, leaving Gwen's father and the coachman with absolutely nothing. In the total chaos, Gwen is terrified and forced to flee straight into those forbidden woods. She is completely alone, she hasn't eaten in 2 days, and out of nowhere she encounters a magical, talking horse. So we have to ask, what exactly is generating this forest's terrifying reputation? Anatomy of the curse, a kingdom trapped. Let's look at how this forest wasn't just some naturally spooky environment. It's a meticulously crafted magical prison.
The Screaming Forest is actually the cursed royal army of the Trikonona Kingdom. Those terrifying, restless trees Gwen is surrounded by, they aren't monsters at all. They're the immobilized soldiers of a royal army. And that beautiful, magical horse who took pity on Gwen, the one who literally gave her a magical key to touch a tree bark so a massive table of delicious food and a warm bed would just appear? Yeah, that horse is the cursed king of Trikonona. A vengeful witch trapped them all in this bizarre vegetative and animalistic state.
Here is the timeline of how this all went down. Number 1, years ago, the royal army actually defeated this witch in battle. 2, shortly after, she took her brutal revenge. 3, moments later, the king is transformed into a horse, his mother, the queen mother, becomes a bird, and the entire army turns into the Screaming Forest. Which brings us to number 4, present day, where Gwen wanders right into the aftermath. It's wild, right? A total military victory that disastrously backfired into this eternal magical imprisonment.
Moving on to the witch's trap, rules of the curse. Because the witch didn't just cast a spell and walk away, she engineered a highly specific, fortified defense system.
Rule number 1. The entire curse hinges on just one singular object. The king's existence, his identity, and the fate of his entire kingdom are tied to his ancestral gold ring. It's a simple, plain ring, but it is quite literally the key to everything. If he gets it back, the curse breaks.
But getting it back is the genius part of the witch's plan. We've got the witch's castle defenses versus the fatal human flaw. She hid this ring deep inside her massive, luxurious castle, which has a magical barrier preventing cursed animals from entering. The king has tried, but as a horse, he physically cannot step foot inside. However, she left one glaring loophole. The spell requires an outsider with human skin to step inside. It's like she locked the fortress but deliberately left the side door cracked open for a human.
So why leave a loophole at all? Because it houses the ultimate trap. The witch basically just waits inside her castle for an outsider to trespass, and when they do, she plays the part of a harmless, fading old woman. She'll ask super simple, polite questions like, "What is your name, child?" or "Are you lost?" And she knows that the very second a human utters a single word in response, the trap snaps shut, and they become her eternal prisoners. The king even tells Gwen that his friends tried to enter the castle to help, they spoke, and they were never seen again.
Let's look at the breaker of chains, Gwen's silent victory. Gwen is a starving pauper, but she is fiercely loyal. After hearing the tragic story from the horse who showed her such immense kindness, she marches right up to that massive castle to exploit the witch's own rules.
Let's break down her flawless master plan. Step 1. Enter the castle without permission. The door is open, she just walks right in. Step 2, and this is honestly the hardest part, remain completely silent. The witch starts baiting her immediately. "Who's there? What's your name, child? How rude to enter without asking." But Gwen refuses to say a word. She doesn't utter a single syllable, entirely bypassing the verbal trap. Step 3. With incredible quick thinking, she spots a water pitcher and throws it down, literally slipping up the witch's defenses so the witch falls with a massive thud. Step 4. While the witch is down, Gwen grabs the caged bird, which has the gold ring tied to its leg, and gets out of there.
Which brings us to the restored kingdom. because securing that ring and getting it out of the castle was the domino that toppled the entire curse.
The mechanics of the spell unravel instantly. It's this beautiful, cascading restoration. The terrifying trees gently lower their branches and transform back into the brave soldiers of the royal army. The little trapped bird morphs back into the Queen Mother, and the magical horse, who had totally fallen for Gwen's generous spirit, is restored to his true form as the King of Trichonona. And the payoff? Gwen's bravery is rewarded. She is invited to become the new queen, going from a starving pauperess to a royal. She even invites her merchant father and his family to join her, making sure they are never poor again. Now, as we wrap this up, you might be wondering about the architect of all this suffering. What actually happened to the vengeful witch once her master spell was broken? Talk about poetic justice. The witch was left trapped forever in her own cursed domain, completely isolated. The king, now fully restored to power, ensures that her meticulously crafted trap becomes her own eternal prison. He vows to completely control the Screaming Forest, ensuring the witch can never leave that castle, and declaring no one will ever be allowed to enter that part of the woods again. She is entirely cut off, hoisted by her own magical petard.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If you were standing there, being tested by an ancient witch politely asking for your name, could you possess the sheer discipline to stay completely silent and break the curse of the Screaming Forest? In a world full of complex magical traps and enchantments, is silence truly our most powerful weapon? Honestly, think about that. Keep exploring the hidden mechanics behind these stories, and we'll catch you on the next explainer.